pop up. There we go. What's going to Crazy A Gaming? Today we're doing a. I don't know if we want to call it podcast because it's not really a podcast, but we're going to be talking about movies news. So I'm joined by my friend that I met yesterday, Amigo. Can you please present yourself? Tell me who you are and what you do for a living and everything.
My name is Matthew. I am a cosplayer. I like to make a lot of different props and everything. I'm going to school for robotics at the moment, and I that's really it about me. So,
All right, and if you guys want to see his cosplay, I'll leave his Instagram in the description. Today we're going to be talking about different kind of subject today. We have five subjects today. First off, me and we're going to be rating all the Star Wars movie from worst to best. We haven't seen each other's list, and of course we have different opinion. Everybody has different opinion, so maybe we'll surprise each other. Second subject will be the thoughts of the Clone Wars, season 7 of Clone Wars, kind of the end of everything, how they tied up with Revenge. Third topic will be the Taki Watiti Star Wars movie. If you guys haven't heard, the Ragnarok director, and that will also play Korg, is doing a Star Wars solo movie. I don't know, like it's gonna be like a single movie. Maybe or he'll do more. Fifth, should will be the Mando new cast. We have a new cast member, new character join the cast, and some for Clone Wars. And last one will be the Tom Cruise movie in space, which I can't wait to see. I don't know what we'll see about this there. So first thing we're going to say, I asked you before we started the video that I wanted you to rank all the Star Wars movies from worst to best. We have our different lists. We haven't seen each other's lists. We don't know what we rank them from. So I'm going to let you go first. So what is for you, the worst Star Wars movie at number 11?
so I am a huge fan of all the Star Wars movies, from the original series to the sequels, with Disney taking over. So this was a hard list for me to put
Same for
together.
me.
But
Because when you love something so much, it's hard to like say which one you like the least. It's like, for me,
exactly.
it's really hard. So what's your worst one?
I would have to start off by saying The Last Jedi. I know that's a very controversial topic in the Star Wars community, between the two different fan bases. It really was the one that split the fan base, and
True.
I personally did not enjoy it as much as I'm sure other fans did.
All right, that's really good. My number 11 spot, it has to be Attack of the Clones. I first watched the movie. Actually, why I shoot the movie, I might as well shoot the app them. Attack of the Clones, it's my number 2. I'm my number 11. Sorry, I remember seeing it. The things for me, which is weird. My first Star Wars movie that I saw was Revenge of the Sith when I was like 5 or 6. My dad, for some reason, showed me the third one first. So I was kind of confused when I watched the other ones first, and I had really trouble, figuring out why 4, 5, 6 came out first. I know a lot of people that don't know Star Wars like, what the fuck is this weird thing? Attack of the Clones for me was kind of a really weak movie, and we talked about yesterday the Anakin and Padme every time on screen, like you said, like would you flirt with somebody with the way that Anakin flirts with Padme? For me, it was really cringy. I didn't love the movie. I think that the Dooku and Yoda fight one of the last scenes of the movie, I think was really nice because you had Christopher Lee funding CGI fully character, which was really nice to see. Except for that, I think the movie was weak in a way. So that's my relevant limit. What about your number 10?
Number 10, I would go with The Rise of Skywalker. It's going to seem like I'm putting the Disney trilogy at the first part of my list. Unfortunately, that is true, just because I don't know. I like kind of what Disney did with it, but I felt the movie was very, very rushed compared to the other two. There was too much story that needed to be ironed out, from the start of The Force Awakens through The Last Jedi, basically taking a lot of what The Force Awakens had established and took a lot of that away. So The Rise of Skywalker had a huge undertaking, and I feel like it could have been executed better if there was given more time or even a second movie. But that's my personal opinion.
That's a really good bit. My number 10 is also Rise of Skywalker. Just like you said, I think it was really too much. JJ had to fix what Last Jedi did, which was a mess. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not like yes, I hate what Ryan did with the Last Jedi with Luke, but I think like what he did in the Rise of Skywalker with Luke character. I guess it was nice to see him like walking out of the we last in the end last shot we saw him like being I guess Luke again because then he was really Luke Skywalker in the first two out of the last Jedi, but then we see him as a Force Ghost in the Rise of Skywalker. That was really nice to see. I think the movie was really like you said, so rushed. JJ had to fix so much, and I think Last Jedi wouldn't be that bad. Rise would be a lot better if let's say like JJ directed the three of them, it would be a lot better. And I think that, like you said, the span would have been split. So my number 10 is Race. What about number 9?
Number 9, I had The Force Awakens. So I'm knocking out those Disney trilogies right here and getting those out of the way. The Force Awakens, going into it in 2015, it was a full new what we thought would be a full new Star Wars experience. Unfortunately, it was too much like A New Hope, but I felt like it could get a pass since we were just getting back into Star Wars. It's trying to get all those original fans in, as well as bringing all the new fans in with the update in CGI technology. And all these movies, the Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, all three very, very visually beautiful movies.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that alone cannot make a good trilogy. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I have those as my 3 worst favorites. But overall, The Force Awakens, not bad. It was good to get something fresh right into it, not 100% fresh, kind of calling back from other things. But overall, I can give it a pass.
All right, my number 9 is Last Jedi. Now, the reason I put Last Jedi over Rise of Skywalker, because for me, going into Rise of Skywalker, I was kind of like, I was really on my nerves, like, while I watched Last Jedi, because I watched all of the movies. Like, every time a new Star Wars movie comes out, I try to watch all of the movies before I go in to see that one. So I watched Last Jedi the night before I went to Rise. And I remember, like, why people were pissed, of course, was Luke. And then going out to the Rise of Skywalker, I was like, okay. And then watching the movie, I was confused sometimes because it was too rushed. It was really hard to follow the story and everything. And then the end was like kind of not original at all. It was just, I don't know. And that kiss, I talk up so many times with the kiss was so cringy. I think that's one reason I really hate the movie. There was no point of that kiss. Resident Evil Last Jedi over the Rise. I love the. I actually really love the kind of relationship or whatever the Force vision between Rey and Kylo. I think it was really interesting to see. Never seen the Star Wars, and of course, Rise Skywalker. There was the light spirit behind it. That was they put the JJ actually kept that, which it was actually nice to see. I think that shot with the light spirit in his bag in the Rise was one of the best shots of the Rise of Skywalker. I think Last Jedi, for me personally, I think it's better than Rise. And I'm gonna be honest, I hate what JJ did with Luke, but for me personally, I was okay with it because yes, like you're a fan of the original, and I am too. But like seeing a new version of Luke was really frustrating. But it was also a little bit interesting for me because we see Luke, like after all he did, he tried to redo agenda and then Kylo turned on him and everything, and I can understand why Ryan did this. Yes, I'm pissed, but I can understand why he did it. So that's why it's a so-so for me. All right, what is your number 8?
I would say it goes to Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
For the reasons that you gave, the entire Anakin Padme love scenes, yes, all very, very cringy. I ask myself all the time, when flirting with a girl, would I say this? Would I just out of the blue say, I don't like sand? Like, what? What?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
But for everything I did like about the movie, I loved seeing the clones. I've always loved the clones.
Yes,
I love the Clone Wars.
The clone looks so fresh compared to the original trilogy. That was nice to see.
Oh, definitely. Camino. I loved everything to do with Camino.
The
Then
shots.
going into Geonosis with the cloners. Uh,
Yeah.
Going through all of that, there are bits and pieces that I would totally take out, but for the most part, I do believe uh, those are some pretty great scenes.
Yes, that is true. My number eight. Okay, so I know a lot of people would actually put this after 11 spot. My number eight is Solo. Now, like I talked about yesterday, I really, really enjoy Solo. I know a lot of. I think a lot of people that actually the reason they hated the movie is because they hated the last like so much that they brought their anger on Solo. And personally, I talked about it yesterday when we called. I think that the cast was amazing. I think that Diddle Glover is those guys. I was surprised to even see. I didn't see what was the cast for when it's in the movie, so I didn't know Woody Wilson was going to be in the movie. And seeing Woody in a Star Wars movie, it was really interesting because he's more of a I get comedy or kind of western movie, I guess. Like of course, other movies. And like you said, Now You See Me, which he was great in. I love the movie. I love the all the after movie, and we also saw the Kessel Run that we talked about so many times in past movies. We actually see what was that. I think the only part that I hate, like I said yesterday, the Lando robot sexual. I don't know how to describe it honestly, but I just think that was like a weird, like why did Albert, whatever it was the name of the director, did that for? It's his choice, his movie. That was really interesting. And I love the handing too of like just Solo going back and winning the Middle Falcon. That's how we won, so we know we did it. Okay, what's the number 7?
Number 7. Then we go to the Phantom Menace. Now, overall, I thought that was a very good movie. There are some definitely really cool scenes in there. Jar Jar, though, I'm not a huge fan of Jar Jar. But getting to go back for the first time and see the Jedi in their prime, which
Yeah.
is just absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the Jedi. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars in general. So it's kind of like if you like Star Wars, the Jedi are like from a
Yeah,
little kid, you see the Jedi doing all their twists and flips and lightsaber
everything.
battles. You love it, and there's there's something about that movie, seeing the final battle between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul, that really gets you going.
Yeah, that was okay. That's a my number 7 is Force Awakens. Now, hear me out. I watched all the 6 movies. I watched the third one first, which is, again, I don't know why, but I thought I decided to show the third one first. So the Force Awakens, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I love the art what they did for the movie for the poster and everything. I remember like going back in 2015. I actually waited a month to see the movie because my dad was a huge fan and I wanted to wait for him to watch a movie with him. So I waited a month to watch a movie from December 20 to I think it was like January 12, 13 when I watched the movie. So I waited like a month to watch a movie. But like I got spoiled to Ellen Solo death before the movie happened. And I was so
Oh,
one of my friend that doesn't really love Star Wars, that just saw it on Facebook, went to me and spoiled me because he knew I love Star Wars. And he spoiled
oh.
me, yes, and I kind of fuck like. So at that scene, I had like a big expectation that he was gonna die, and that was when he died. So, again, visually, the newest trilogy is stunning. The shot and everything are amazing. I really love the first shot they did with the Millennium Falcon. You went the two we call those now the new TIE fighter, whatever you call them, the pass from the middle. That was a nice shot. I
Yeah.
love the end of the movie when Rey grabs Kylo Ren lightsaber. That was a nice shot too. I think
Oh,
Force
yeah,
Weekend is the
definitely.
best. Force Weekend that you probably said. I think you put it number 9 is the best of the Disney trilogy.
Yeah.
J.J. did a good job, and it also did 2 point something billion dollars. It was the fifth highest grossing movie of all time. Because even people that didn't know Star Wars went to see that movie because it did more of the other Star Wars movies, so that was really nice. It was a comeback of Star Wars for all the OG fans. Maybe they were laid down a little bit again for the new trilogy, but it was nice to see Star Wars coming back. All
Mhm.
right, what is your number 6?
Number 6, Revenge of the Sith. Now, in my opinion, Revenge of the Sith is one of the best um, of the prequels because it shows the it finishes the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan, the brother relationship that they have going through the movie, and unfortunately ending up at the Battle of Mustafar.
That
And
was such a good fight.
it's an amazing choreographed fight. I will go randomly on YouTube and just watch it because it is
Yes.
it's amazing. It's hard to find words just to say the greatness of it. We also have the battle between Obi-Wan and General Grievous.
And
That is an amazing fight. The General Grievous's wheel bike and Obi-Wan on Boga, them fighting between their rides. But
nice.
the saddest thing, Order 66.
Yes.
There is nothing more heartbreaking than seeing the clones fighting for the Republic, turning on their Jedi, their generals and everything like that, and gunning them down. It breaks my heart, and it broke my heart even more to see it in the Clone Wars this past season.
All right, okay. My number 6 is Rogue One. Now, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I really, 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 really enjoy Rogue One. For me, it was the second Star Wars Disney movie, and after Force Awakens, back when Force Awakens came out, people loved it more than today. Down to new trilogy is out, and people really enjoy it. Like they probably have better criticism of the movie than now, because now they have the 3 movies, so you can go back on it. But I think Rogue One was really one of the, I think from the 5 Disney Star Wars, the best scene, like I said yesterday, is that Darth Vader in the credit scene. I think that's the best scene of all the 5 Star Wars Disney movies, whatever. That shot was stunning. The music, the dark, I feel what I felt back when I saw Darth Vader fighting Luke or him or Empire in Return. That scene was amazing. Such a good shot. I love Eden Arceo. She was such a good character.
Definitely.
I love Felicity Jones. I love the actress. She's a good actress. I love Casey. I love the robot. Such a comedic. It's really weird to see except for maybe C-3PO, we actually had a comedic droid that just jokes so many times. And of course, I have a bad feeling about this, which is mentioned in every Star Wars movie. He was gonna mention it. He got caught. I think you were pissed. Probably it's like, why? What do you cut out in the movie? And I did love the battle at the end. It was really amazing with the TTRT coming back. That was really cool too.
Definitely.
And of course, in the end credit scene. Now, a lot of people criticize the I forgot his name. Grand Talking, the CGI they did with him because for the actor died. I actually thought it was well made, better than the layout and Rise. It wasn't really CGI, but I thought it was nice. And at the layout at the end, the movie did really look like Carrie Fisher. Well, it did, but not as much as she probably did herself. But yeah, the movie was good. And I would sit down anytime and watch it and enjoy it, to be honest. Okay, where's your number
5? Solo. I'm now getting into Solo. I thought Solo was a fantastic movie on a much beloved character that we have seen through the original trilogy as well as in the Disney sequel trilogy. Now, I understand a lot of people dislike this because it's taking the mystery away from such a beloved character, but I personally feel that having that. Now, I'm not going to be the first one to say it's not a perfect movie, but it's very good for what we were given. I love Donald Glover as Lando. That was fantastic. I feel like he really got the character, and even sometimes I could see Billy D. Williams in that performance from Empire Strikes Back, and I loved the brother relationship that we got out of Han and Chewie whenever they first met.
That was
in
good.
the pit, and then I loved seeing them work together on their first job, and then going through the rest of the movie with the different jobs that they had to pull off.
Yeah, that was
Um,
nice to see.
Now, I will say the end scene with Darth Maul, I feel like that was a little overstepping,
Okay.
specifically because a lot of Star Wars fans that have not watched the Clone Wars are going to say, wait a second, he should be dead. What happened to him? And there's a whole bunch of canon that is to be explored, which, and some people I understand don't have enough time to go back and sit through all of the Clone Wars.
That is fair.
So I feel like if they were going to do something with Darth Maul, I I I would prefer they had not put it in the movie, specifically for the fact that now it's kind of like feeling like, okay, you left this huge cliffhanger right now that's probably not going to be answered for a
Except if you
good
don't watch
long
Clone
while.
Wars.
Exactly.
So yeah, I was confused. Like, I mean, for me and you, both Clone Wars fan, I was happy to see Darth Maul in the Flash as in live action movie. Was really nice to see. All right. Now my number 5. Okay, it's A New Hope. Now, hear me out. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the 1 through 3. I think I do not do, but the first and the third one, I'm a huge fan of them. And I know that New Hope was really the movie that started it all and everything, but I think like visually the movie is good, but not as good as the newest movie. And the story was really nice. Of course, we had young Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher was in Ford, Billy Williams. Oh no, sorry, not Billy Williams in the movie. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Um,
Maybe he wasn't bad, but yeah, but yeah, I love the movie, but it's not. I really, really enjoyed the movie, but the thing is, again, I watched 1 to 3 before watching 4, 5, 6. That's why back then I was confused. What the fuck is the timeline we do this movie? But yeah, for me, number 5, New Hope is again T fight between Ellie Guinness and what's his. What's the name of the actor that was in the Darth Vader suit? Do you?
oh man, I do not remember right now. Let me look it up quickly.
Oh, it was the one that we saw return that when he took off his helmet there, though.
David Prowse.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I love the fight between him and Alec Guinness. It's the first Spirit fight we ever had, and that was really nice to see. And I love Alec Guinness. Sadly, he passed away in 1999, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was really nice to see. All right, what is your number 4?
Number 4, for me, it's A New Hope.
Right.
Going on what you said, I really loved. It was great seeing a young character look. I mean, you could say wanting more out of life, wanting to be important, wanting to help, fight for what he believed in.
Exactly.
I love the performance by Mark Hamill,
Yes.
Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford. Everybody did a fantastic job in that movie. This movie actually has one of my favorite ship scenes in it. It's the battle over Yavin. It's
Yeah.
my absolute favorite of any of the ship battles. Uh, there's so much to it. I have always loved it. Always loved it.
All right, that's a good try. Number 4 for me is Rogue One. And sorry, no, or Phantom Menace. Sorry. I said yesterday it is my favorite Star Wars movie, but I think I feel like doing the actual like tier list or like and like where's the best. It's not the best Star Wars movie. It's my favorite, but it's not the best, of course. That's what this list is about. It's personally thinks the best or worst. So Phantom Menace, I'm gonna say it many times. My favorite Jedi of all time is Qui-Gon. And then second Ahsoka. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. Liam Neeson did a good job as him. And I really love that for people that watch Clone Wars, he had a little cameo in Clone Wars when they were on that planet with the sister and brother and the whatever that what was it called. So that was nice seeing. I love Darth Maul. Darth Maul is my favorite Sith in the entire Star Wars universe. It was nice seeing by Clone Wars, and of course, and people were like, what the fuck is he doing in Solo? But it was nice to see that. I think I'm not one of those Star Wars fans that actually hate Jar Jar Binks. I don't mind Jar Jar Binks. I just think he's clumsy and funny, but I love the character, and I think he brought Star Wars a little bit of comedy. Because in the first three, we didn't have much comedy, pretty much at all. I mean, we had some joke between Solo and Lando and Luke and everything, but I think for me, he brought something funny again. That's not what I'm looking for in the Star Wars movie. It was nice to see. And I think that the ending of the ending scene was really nice with Obi-Wan talking to Yoda talking to Obi-Wan, and of course we had introduced back to Yoda to Samuel Jackson Windu. We didn't see I remember he did an interview saying like he got a part of Star Wars, but all he got to do was stay in the chair. It was kind of true. It was nice to see that, and I think it was a strong cast. Ewan McGregor. I can't wait for this solo series coming, but I love the actor. I think I'm not gonna say he does a better Obi-Wan than Alec Guinness, but he's close up there. So yeah, my number 4. Number 3.
Number 3 is Rogue One for me. I loved Rogue One. It was a fantastic movie, in my opinion. I loved getting to see a Star Wars story that did not focus around the light side and the dark side, kind of like Solo. But I loved getting to see the rebellion against the Empire. Having Battle of Scarif at the end was fantastic. Whenever they were getting the Death Star plans, I loved seeing the fleet come in. It gives so much respect to A New Hope.
Yes,
with having those, it puts in some of the original actors through CG, like I think it was Gold Leader and Red Leader.
Yeah, that was nice to see. I forgot about that. That was true. Yeah.
And then seeing Carrie Fisher, not quite Carrie Fisher at the end, but seeing Princess Leia in there at the end saying hope. They've given us hope. It's such a touching scene. Yeah. I tear up every time I watch it. And it seeing Darth Vader come in and totally wipe out the fleet troopers was such a heart stopper. I remember seeing back in the theater. But it was a fantastic movie. K2SO was a fantastic droid. Yes. Almost, my parents were saying he's kind of like the Sheldon Cooper of Star Wars.
He is, yeah. All right, my number 3 is from Return of the Jedi. Again, I think that it perfectly ended the original trilogy of Star Wars. I think George Lucas, that came out in 1983. Yeah, 83. Back then, Star Wars was such a big thing because it was new. Fuck Star Trek, sorry, but push that beside. Yes, it's kind of a similar. Star Trek came out 10 years before Star Wars, but it ended the series really good. The Omen trilogy, the battle between Luke and Vader at the end was really nice. City Empire finally in flesh. By I forgot his name. What is the name of the actor? I feel bad for. Wait.
I cannot remember the name for the life of me at the moment.
Wait, it is. What's his not saying there? What the hell? It's supposed to say on those stupid movies, but it's not. There it is. It is. Ian
McDermott. That's what it is.
It's so hard to pronounce. And we had to see him in the flesh. And it was a really nice movie. I think the second battle of the Death Star was really nice. Seeing Lando and Millennium Falcon, that was really nice to see. At the end was really nice. And seeing, I know there's a lot of controversy between the one of the last shot with the 3 Jedi, Anakin, Obi, and Yoda. And when they did the 2004 remake, which is the one that I have Right there, they put eight creations instead of that. I forgot his name you said earlier. I love that they actually put Aiden Christian in there instead of the original actor. That was really nice to see. Yeah, that was a good movie, and the NNT trilogy is really good. All right, what is your number two?
Return of the Jedi. So Return of the Jedi is a big one for me. Because as from as young as I can remember, I loved seeing the Ewoks. The Ewoks
Yeah.
are one of my favorite parts of that movie. And I also loved seeing the the movie makes you question, is Luke going to turn to the dark side? Because he comes into Jabba's palace after the droids have been captured, and Leia and Chewbacca. He comes in black robes with a hood up.
Yes.
He chokes the Gamorrean guards and forces his way in almost.
Exactly.
Now, seeing that all and seeing it through the movie with his black robes and everything, you think, is he going to turn to the dark side? But in the last moments, the flap on his clothes comes out as white, and Luke Skywalker will not turn to the dark side. He will not fall like his father did. He is a Jedi like his father before him. And the final battle between Luke and Vader was an amazing, amazing fight. I don't think it's quite as good as the one in Episode 5, but they did a very nice job with it. The entire Battle of Endor, that was a great, great scene. Great scenes. And I will say, though, I kind of like the original ending better, with the original Yub Nub song and the original actor that was the stand-in for Anakin Skywalker beside Alec Guinness and Yoda. I feel like it kind of fits more. I understand why people like Hayden Christensen more in that scene, because that is when he ceased to be a Jedi and turned to the Sith. But I will say, I personally like an older Anakin there. I feel it fits more. It's more understandable because he's older. But everybody has their own opinion on that. So
yeah. Okay. So now number two, number one for me are tied. So they're both number one for me. But for my number two, I'm gonna do Revenge of the Sith. I enjoyed that movie so much. Fun fact about the fight between Anakin and Obi, they practiced that thing was like 5 or 6 months to be prepared for that fight, because there was no stunt double. There was no stunt double. They really did the entire fight. Yes, it does. It does really shows. Hello there, best, and I have the high ground for became both big memes, even outside of the Star Wars fan, just such big memes. They're really funny and everything, and there's so many memes around it. I think that the Order 66, I don't think we for OG fan that watched the original trilogy and it came out in tears to watch it, I don't think they actually knew that was actually going to happen, because yes, we knew the clones were bad in the original trilogy, but we never got tell and originally how they turned bad. So I think that was for people again, this first movie that I watched, it was confusing for me. But for the OG fan that watched the trilogy, grew up with Star Wars, it was maybe confusing. What is this happening? And now they know, oh, that's why they were bad in the trilogy. That was really nice to see. I love the fact that in this movie, it was Sidious's movie. It wasn't the Jedi. It was really his movie, because it's we were to see it. And the way, and you can see how Anakin turns out right after he kills Zuko, like he said, he started to be the Sidious's apprentice, and then ends up being Darth Vader. And I love the fact that there was Aiden Christian that actually was in Darth Vader's scene at the Darth Vader's suit at the end of the movie. He said it was really an iconic moment for his career for him to be in that suit. And it was a really good movie. It was gun really made, and the shot really nice. The Order 60 was nice. Now we have to say both number one. So I'll let you go first.
Oh, Empire Strikes Back! I cannot talk more highly about a Star Wars movie. It is personally, it was the first Star Wars movie that I had walked in on my dad watching. Specifically, the scene where Han Solo is going into the carbonite, and
Oh yeah,
Princess Leia says, "I love you," and he's like, "I know."
yeah. That moment was it was. I mean,
And
that's Harrison Ford. Like, this is actually Harrison Ford talking. It's not Han Solo. It's Harrison Ford.
definitely.
So.
Hmm. And the beginning with the Battle of Hoth, the snow speeders with the AT-ATs, I believe it's the AT-ATs, and that entire scene was beautiful. The the way they had to come up with the way to take the walkers down, to seeing them fly in their little snow speeders. I thought it was fantastic. I love the snow speeders. Then Luke going to train with Yoda, that was all fantastic. I absolutely love those scenes. Entire Cloud City battle, Han getting turned into carbonite, Luke coming to rescue Han and Leia, being too late and fighting Vader. Best lightsaber fight of the original series.
Yes,
The
definitely.
original trilogy. They made it beautifully. I can't explain it, but they made it so beautifully, and I love it.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay, so I need to talk about my Rose Empire. Fun fact about Empire. So there's a thing that people are saying that Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father," but no, he just says, "I am your father." Now I asked a lot of people that they're decent Star Wars fan, like they watch the movies and everything, and every time I asked them, they said, "No, it's Luke, I am your father." No, it's he. A lot of people think that, and I thought it too. You probably did too, but it's not. It's just I
Yeah.
am your father, and it's I forgot what it's just the thing that's called that you think that's something actually happened, but it didn't. There's actually a name for that. It was a really fun movie, and again, the Darth Vader and Luke in that fight was amazing. Mark Hamill did a good job. Fun fact about the movie, for big stars nerd, if you realize, Mark Hamill's face is actually different in that movie because before he shot Empire, he had a car accident, and that's what you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you can see
Yeah.
his face shaped differently. I don't know. A lot of people knew this, but my dad told me when I was younger, and I still remember it to this day somehow. But yeah, great movie.
I,
T. Oh, sorry. You can go.
I'm sorry. I wasn't that the reason that they wrote in the part with the Wampa
Yes, this is
drawing
exactly
his
why.
face and everything. So okay, that makes a lot of sense. There we go.
You talk about speeder going around fighting TTRT. That thing came back in Captain America Civil War when Spider-Man they were trying to take Ant-Man. He said, "Have you ever watched that old movie Empire Strikes Back?" And that I think that callback in Civil War is really nice to hear because it's the best Star movie. Well, it's the most popular one. Visually, it was really nice too. Again, the Cloud City was really nice made. Jordan Lincoln did a good job with that movie, and it was a stunning movie. And of course, I Am Your Father, which I think is the biggest cliffhanger of all time in any movies for like back in 1981. So that was really a good movie. All right, so this is our list. Now to second topics. We'll go quick on this. It's the thoughts of the season 7 of Clone Wars, and we're going to talk exactly about the 4 last episode, which was tied up with Revenge of the Sith. I'm gonna say it right off the top that I think that those 4 last episodes were the best of the entire 7 seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Because of course, for me, Revenge of the Sith is a strong Star Wars movie. It's the best of the 3 as well. The 4, 5, 6. It's the neckly of the if you go from that, whatever. It was really well made. The fight between Darth Maul and Ahsoka in episode 10 was amazing and stunning. You guys know Ray Park that played Darth Maul and Feminist came back and did some motion capture. I forgot what the name of the woman that did motion capture for Ahsoka. They were both great, and you can actually, if you look at different lightsaber battle performing colors, you can see that fight felt a lot heavier the way they were hitting because they're really there on set fighting and everything. That was really nice to do. And the last shot from the last episode with the helmets of with Darth Vader, taking the lightsaber that he gave Ahsoka like years before. I don't know how was it jump between that episode and that last shot, but it was really nice made. And then of course it was really well made. We had actual scene from Revenge on Clone Wars. That's the first time that happened in the Clone Wars because it had to happen between 2 and 3. And so now technically Clone Wars is canon now. I think that we know. Well, yes, technically it's canon because it was happened between 2 and 3, but we never see Ahsoka. But now, if we're actually getting Ahsoka and Mando season 2, that will tie up even more Clone Wars, and maybe that'll brought people to go watch Clone Wars now. So, what are your thoughts on that season?
Everything that you just said, I cannot agree with you more. It was absolutely fantastic. From the fight from Ahsoka to Darth Maul, to Vader picking up the saber that he gave Ahsoka. I mean, that's also got to be hard on the character, probably because he found one of Ahsoka's lightsaber. As far as he knows, she is dead at the moment until Rebels. But everything was so heavily done from Order 66, to even tying it in with the Revenge of the Sith. You go back and you watch some of the scenes, and it's like, okay, yeah, I remember that happening. And then you go watch Clone Wars, is like, yes, that happened. And as soon as the scene cut in Revenge of the Sith, this is like where this comes in. And it was all pieced together so well. It was a fantastic last 4 episodes. I'd love to see more. Like probably it definitely wouldn't be. I don't know if they would give a full movie to it or something like that, but I'd love to see something more after that. Going from the Clone Wars into Rebels. I feel like there's a bit more that they can explore there. And hey, maybe that would be a possibility for Watiti's Star Wars movie.
So that is the next topic we have. So now, if you guys didn't know, it was I think it was like last week or something like that. Taki Watiti, which is director of Thor Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit, that won a Oscar for best screenplay, is doing a Star Wars movie. Now, there's nothing. We just hear that, so there's no what's going to be about, what the cast is, nothing we knew about. So this is my thing. So now, of course, Jane Foster, which Natalie Portman that played Padme in the Star Wars movie, was in Thor 1 and 2, but she wasn't in the third one, which no one Taki Watiti directed. Now, Jojo Rabbit won his best screenplay, so he won an Oscar for that. Now, he's directing the Thor 4, Love and Thunder, and Natalie Portman is going to be, I guess, Lady Thor, whatever the thing is in that movie, but he's directing it. So she's going to be working with a Oscar winner director. So I have so I have to I guess in this. Maybe he'll brought Natalie Portman in the movie, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it, but like they're to be working to the Thor 4. I'm pretty sure that movie we're talking about, the Taki Watiti Star Wars, will come after Love and Thunder because he's working on Love and Thunder, and Love and Thunder is only scheduled for I think is May 2022, which is still a lot of time. Because every MCU movie will push away because of the coronavirus. So that would be my first thought. Maybe have like a deeper view, and I don't want to see. I don't know if I want to see it, but like on Padme, because yes, we had her like sort of 3 movies, but we don't know her origins. Like we see her in Phantom Menace, and she's the Queen of Amila, but like because what happened before she was a queen and everything, that maybe would be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because
it's kind of like a more political side between the Naboo and the Gungans. That I feel like that could be an interesting side story. I also feel like that could be an interesting TV show, getting into more of the now I know that was one of the Phantom Menace's downfalls back in the day. People weren't really interested in too much of the politics, but I feel like that could be an interesting side story if done correctly.
Exactly. And then this is the thing. Taki Watiti did Ragnarok, and Jojo Rabbit. They were both like I know what like I love to say that Ragnarok was kind of a childish movie, which I think that it worked for Thor. Now we talked about yesterday what it worked with Star Wars. I don't know, depends. Maybe if you put like Kulse the robot in Rogue One in that movie, maybe that would work. But I don't know because he was a really funny robot. The second thing I will see for this will be an Old Republic movie. Now, fans of the Old Republic talk about it for a long time. People want to see a movie about it because if you just go see the cutscenes from that game on YouTube, they're stunning, beautiful, and 4K and everything. I think I would love to see a Dark Raven, which is was the I guess the bad guy that sit in those three games, the three a whole Republic game. That would be nice to see. I don't know if we'll have this. And the third one, of course, like I said yesterday, will be Ahsoka Tano movie because if we see her in Mando, is confirmed. I think at this point, maybe we'll do a solo movie about her. Maybe probably the same actress is gonna play her. I forget what's her name, but she actually looks like the character. If she put mix on much, and yeah, so we'll see what happens with his movie.
Um, Personally, yeah, I would like to see a Ahsoka movie if that's one thing that they would plan to do. I'd be excited to see what she does in between some of the big plot points in Star Wars, even between 3 and 4,
Yeah,
going from using specifically clone troopers into the stormtroopers. I know they didn't use clones. They shut down the cloning on Camino, and they had people sign up to be in the Empire that had very strict restrictions on everything, like height and a whole bunch of that stuff. Now, I feel like that could be an interesting plot point in an Ahsoka movie because from the last time we saw Ahsoka, she was with Rex. So Ahsoka and Rex trying to keep a download profile in between, trying to keep a down profile from the Empire so they're not found out. Eventually, Rex going off with the 2 other clones and Ahsoka being on her own. I feel like that could be an interesting thing. Rex finding out that they're not using clones anymore. I feel like that kind of be a relief for him. So he doesn't have to see any more of his brothers fighting for what he believes to be a wrong purpose.
exactly. Okay, that's a good. I get. Next off, Mando season 2. Now, Mandalorian came out in November 2019. Stunning series. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Taki Watiti. There's 3 other directors directing different episodes. Stunning show. Loved the movie. I think that Pascal, I forgot his name, but I know he's from Mexico, did a good job as the Mandalorian. And that scene that we see his face, I knew who was behind the mask, but people that didn't know that who was the actor that was playing him. But yeah, and of course, like I said before, he has some family with Oscar Isaac that played Poe. I didn't say it yesterday. I don't know what the relationship, but they have family together, whatever. So now season 2 Mando, there's 3 characters, 3 new characters confirmed. The one we talked about yesterday, which is Boba Fett. So the original actor that played the clones in Revenge and that played Jango Fett is going to be in the suit of Boba Fett, of course, because Boba Fett, Jango was his dad. So maybe he looks same. Well, he's going to look the same as his dad because he's going to be the actor in it. But yeah, I can't wait to see that. To be honest, that's going to be really exciting to see. Second one, Ahsoka Tano was confirmed for this menu. I can't wait to see a older, I should say, Ahsoka Tano in the flesh. That's going to be interesting to see. And the third one, it is Satine's sister. I forget her name. She's the Mendel herself, and we'll see her. What are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I cannot wait to see Boba Fett make a return from coming out of the Sarlacc pit. I mean, we saw a little bit of Boba Fett in, I believe, what was episode 5 or 6 of The Mandalorian. He had a little bit of a just walking up scene, and that got me so excited to see a return of Boba Fett. And I I just hope they do it right. If anybody can do it right, though, it's definitely going to be Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Yes, Favreau that started the MCU, that became the biggest franchise of all time, that directed The Lion King, which I think people bitch about it, but it was visually beautiful. He's a good actor too, and everything. And then Filoni, of course, that brought Clone Wars to Rebels. That for me, Clone Wars, it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's such a good show. All right, the last topic we're talking about today, it is the Tom Cruise movie in space, which surprised a lot of people, but not myself. So an interview, so that was confirmed, I think 4 days ago, that Tom Cruise is going to be filming, well, not the entire movie, but it's going to film like maybe 10, 15 minutes of the movie in space. So for you nerds out there that want some information about this, I searched up, and just to launch the spaceship in space, it is $60 million. It costs $60 million. It's not cheap, okay? So people are saying that it will be the most expensive movie ever made, which will probably make sense if you're filming in fucking space, and then you have to pay Tom Cruise to do this, which is probably gonna be cheap. But Tom Cruise, is the most richest actor of in the world right now, with a $550 million net worth, which is a lot of money for an actor. $500 million. I can't really see this because Tom Cruise said the only thing in my career that I haven't done is been in space. It's been a movie there. I mean, nice Mission Impossible, he was hanging out of the fucking chopper while moving. I mean, and then Mission Impossible 5, he was hanging out of a fucking plane going. Oh, I mean, can you stop Tom Cruise? I don't think you can. What are your thoughts on that Tom Cruise filming in space?
Oh, that it's crazy to me that they would even consider going this direction in a movie. I did read online it's not going to be a Mission Impossible movie, so I don't think we'll see Tom Cruise hanging out of a space shuttle. But it's going to be interesting to see what this movie is. There's nothing confirmed yet. It's still in the production or very very early production processes, so there's not a specific team or anything. But I did read that Elon Musk is a big contributor with SpaceX, trying to get something that will be able to go to space to film this movie. I think it's definitely going to be a movie I will be interested in seeing, specifically for the fact it's filmed in space.
Yeah, it will be the first movie ever that's filmed literally in space. And I'm gonna be honest, if anybody can pull that up, it will be Tom Cruise. I mean, he has what 60 movies on his name. For Mission Impossible are really popular too. Also he's doing a 7 Mission Impossible, with the Simon Pegg, Ren Ramsey, the original cast coming back. I love Tom Cruise. I grew up watching these movies. And before we go, I told you yesterday about who was originally supposed to play Iron Man in MCU. It was Tom Cruise. Now I told you yesterday I was like trying to picture Tom Cruise in the 8 of the movies that Robert Downey Jr. was in, from the first Iron Man to the Endgame. That would be really weird. But Tom Cruise did say he regretted not taking the part, like how much did MCU became the biggest movie franchise of all time. Of course, the Endgame became the highest grossing movie of all time, being Avatar for over 10 years. Finally, I was so happy that they fucking beat Avatar. I was like, finally, yes, the MCU movie that did it. And I can't wait to see that movie, Tom Cruise in space. I wonder what the movie is gonna be about though, because I mean, think about it. Like, what would be the plot? Like, what? Like, this has to be reason he goes in space. So
Something action packed. I can only hope. I mean, not that it wouldn't be bad to have like something more calm and everything like that, but I feel like if you're going to space, you're gonna go all out. You're gonna have something action packed and something where the stakes are high.
yeah, and this is the thing. Like, it's gonna be an expensive movie to make, of course. It's just for the fucking space to 6 million. How much are you gonna pay Tom Cruise to do that? Probably a shit ton of money. So the budget and the production is gonna be a high stay. So they have to make the movie really fucking good to beat the budget. Because if a movie wants to break even, I think it's 150 million dollar more than a movie for the budget. Like example, Solo did, I think it was a $275 million budget. They only did 300 million in the box office. So they did no they had no money back from this because the movie failed. So if they're doing a movie in space with probably a really high fucking budget, you can probably we said Elon Musk helping the movie, which is really nice. I love Elon Musk. For me, Elon Musk is the Tony Stark in real life. He always wants to control everything. He's rich and everything, so I love Elon Musk. All right, so thank you guys for watching this first episode of I don't want to call this thing. Probably I'm just going to call podcast, even though it's really a podcast because podcast, whatever. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I enjoyed talking today. We'll do more in the future, probably once a week because those are time consuming, and my mouth is running out right now, so. And I haven't drank anything in an hour or two. I've been talking for an hour. So this episode was mostly about Star Wars, and I don't know what we'll talk about next. If there's any movie news that comes out, we'll talk about it. Again, if you want to check out Matthew Instagram, I'll leave it in the description if you want to check it out. He does really nice cosplay and everything. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more of this, and if you have any ideas, if you want us to talk about, leave in the comments, or we'll read them. And until you guys, on there, peace.